Welcome back to the Nano Cruising Podcast. I'm your host, Stefan Marceau. Today on the podcast, we talk with Matt Sharman. Matt was recommended by a listener. As it turns out, Matt is somewhat of a Wayfarer guru. So this should be a lot of fun. Thank you, Matt, for joining. A Nano Cruiser listener actually recommended to talk to you as the Wayfarer guru, I guess you've been called. So looking forward to hear your stories and your life stories, as you say, about that. And tell me a little bit about your sailing history, I guess, and then we'll get into specifically how you became such a Wayfarer.
I started, I guess, when in my early teens.
Right.
Back in the sort of mid-60s, late 60s, early 70s, my uncle, for no apparent reason, bought himself a wooden Wayfarer back in those days. And after a while, I ended up as his number one crew, probably because I was the only one that really put up with it all. So, and we sailed all around the sort of Thames estuary in the UK.
Right.
And up all the little muddy creeks, and eventually he bought an old tarpaulin and made a bit of a tent out of it, and off we'd go for weekends, and camped up some godforsaken creek somewhere.
There you go, already camp cruising at 16. That's nice.
And then just stuck to it and just kept going. Yeah, I took the boat over in 1984 and became owner and skipper of it. And carried on since then.
Nice. The picture is the beauty. That's the beauty behind you. The picture you have.
No, that's unfortunately the old boat, which was W773, got written off while I was trailing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, great shame. But this is a worthy replacement. Again, another woody.
There you go. So then you got right away into Wayfarer, and you just stayed and became the.
Yeah, did a lot of repairs on the boat, redecked it, used centerboard, eventually replaced masts and booms and sails, and gradually upgraded it over the years.
Yes, okay, so you started basically at 16 years old. You're already in the cruising mode of Wayfarer. So tell me how you evolved to become. So you had a Wayfarer, you took it for your uncle, and and then improved
very
on
quickly,
it.
Very quickly found that being in charge was very different to just being the crew, and that was quite an eye opener, really, for me.
Right.
And I remember my first cruise, which is down in a county called Suffolk on the coast.
Okay.
And we actually cruised probably about 3 miles, I think, the first day, before stopping at a pub. And decided to go to the pub first before we decided to put the tent up. Not a good idea. So, and then sort of branched out and discovered the UK Wayfarer Association, and got into organising events and cruises and training events.
Okay, so you started to organize events for the Wayfarer Association, I guess, right?
Yeah. The first one, I think, was 1991. I think my first cruise that I organised.
So you were early on in this world, which is great.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah, you must have met some good people, very famous people, and so on, and had some great fun.
Yeah. I've you may have heard of Frank Dye.
Of course. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of who I meant. Yeah. Famous. I was gonna say, did you meet Frank Dye by any chance? Because he's
he actually lives in the same county.
There you go. And his wife Margaret, right? So
yes, I knew them both. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I sailed with Frank once just on the day sail.
Okay. So then tell me, we know the Wayfarer, so why is it such a beloved small craft cruiser and day sailor? Is it the design, the history, the community?
I think it's a mix, really. It's a phenomenal design. It's a fantastic seaboat, and because of the rigs get a bit more modern these days, aren't they? Really, but it's a dinghy that's still got good performance,
right?
And
very
probably
performant, actually. Yes.
Yeah, and the Wayfarer Association, the community is phenomenal. The friendliness of it and the number of events that get organised, cruises, training events, and social events. It really sort of brings the class. And probably the history as well. People like Frank Dye made the boat famous with some of the cruises that he did.
Right, absolutely. Did a lot of major cruise in that. So, what about you? What's some of your more memorable adventures, crossing, or cruises that you've done, or you've been part of?
Yeah, probably some of my biggest ones are on the west coast of Scotland.
Right.
Around the Inner Hebrides, and then once out to the Outer Hebrides. Which was a phenomenal trip. The sailing up there is fantastic, and there's some very interesting gulfs up there where they've got some phenomenal tides.
Right. I was going to say it's probably kind of known the west side of Ireland as not very hospitable for sailing, pretty dangerous, right?
Yeah, it can be. Yes, yeah. There's some very strong tides in places. But, like anything, it's a matter of working up to it and doing your research and getting the timing right.
And watching the weather, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So for someone considering the Wayfarer for cruising, what modifications or setups do you recommend? So what do you do for yourself for cruising?
There's actually not that much, actually. I've sailed every mark of Wayfarer there is, different people, crewing for other people. And probably the biggest modification that you need is a good reefing system. Because once you start cruising, you're going to be out and conditions are going to change and you're going to be able to have to reduce sail. I wouldn't recommend anyone goes out cruising unless they have got a decent reefing system.
Correct.
Yeah, that and a tent, and I think, and you're off, really.
So not really any major modifications, just adaptations, really, right? So
No, the boat I've got now is an ex-racing boat, and I took gear off it just to simplify it a bit.
Yes.
But basically, it's very much as it was.
Yeah, simplify is a good idea. Absolutely, that's good. And I see you're into Aero Luff Spars. Tell me about that. I'm kind of curious and how you got into that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was a chap called Ralph Roberts who's also done a huge amount of Wayfarer cruising.
Right.
Probably more long distance trips than I have. And we decided that there wasn't a decent reefing system for dinghies on the market. This is a Force Genoa reefing system. So we set about designing one and making it. And then somebody else says, "Oh, I want one," and then it goes on from there, really. And it ended up as a business.
How is it different than regular roller reefing, or how's it differ?
Most Genoa reefing systems are based on an aluminium spar, and the sail goes into a groove on that aluminium spar.
Correct.
Ours is different. It's a composite of GRP and carbon fibre, 8mm spar, which goes up inside the luff sleeve of the Genoa, which makes it light. It's flexible, and very aerodynamic as well.
Wow, yeah, I can see. So that would be much lighter, definitely, right? So.
Oh gosh, yes, yeah.
And our diamonds is always good, definitely for that. So.
Yeah.
So it's trying to solve Do you know what? I guess a lighter system, basically.
Yeah, not just that. It's the fact that it's so compact. Being an 8mm spar, it doesn't interfere with the performance of the sail, and the fact that it's flexible. Whereas the aluminium spars have to be taken great care of, because if you bend them and crease them, then that's it, really.
That's trouble. Absolutely. Are they in different size, or mostly your target market is the Wayfarer, or there's other boats that can be adapted to that?
Yeah, we've sold spars now to probably about 15 different dinghy classes, and also there's a company called Cornish Crabbers. Unfortunately went bust, but the Cornish Crabbers fit our spars to their range of boats as well, which is up to a 24-footer.
So then is your system now more of a DIY installation for small boat cruisers? Is that what it is?
No, it's not really.
No?
It's the way it's made up is it has to be made up specifically to the luff length of a sail.
Okay.
To make it work efficiently, and it's made up under tension as well. So that when rigs are tensioned, we know that the wire expands and stretches. So we pre-tension it, which gives it a good. So it works pretty efficiently. So.
Have you got the sizing for Potter 15? That's my boat. That's my boat. So.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's perfect sizing. Yeah. Yeah, our big problem is delivery, of course, because it's
across ocean might be a little complicated for shipping charge, right? So that's the problem.
Yeah,
I may have to come and pick it up, and even then,
yeah, good. Yeah, we go for sale as well.
I know you mentioned that, but why is good reefing and sail gear so important?
Because conditions change. I think one of my pet hates is this sort of blanket health and safety. But I think I would like to say that I'm probably a more intelligent health and safety person. But I do know from all the trips that I have done that conditions will change. Winds will increase, and therefore you need to adapt to it.
Yes,
and you get more sailing. If you can reef your sails, then you can go out in the force 4, 5, 6. Whereas probably if you had full sail, you wouldn't go.
Yeah, too much work.
Yeah, hard work.
Yeah. Wow. Has it evolved over the years, this sail system?
It's pretty much as we designed it.
Okay.
We've altered slightly the way the sail attaches to the system. It used to fit down onto the top of the inner drum, but now it fits onto the actual spar.
Going back to the Wayfarer, since that's pretty much your life.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it has been really. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've talked about adventures. You've talked about how you came into that. What else do you do in the Wayfarer world or other sailing world?
The training stuff, really.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
so you do Wayfarer training.
Yeah, we like to try and encourage other people to go Wayfarer cruising, and so there's an annual event called the Cruising Conference in March.
Nice.
And I've been a presenter at the Cruising Conference probably for 15, 20 years now, I think.
Is that right?
And I used to run something called Tidal Training, which is designed to introduce people who sail inland to tidal waters,
right?
Which has been very popular.
That's great.
And I enjoy it as well. So.
Yeah, even better. So is it for newcomers to the sport, or just
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Wayfarer class is still quite strong.
Yes.
We still the new Wayfarer builders, Hartley boats, are selling quite a few boats now.
Right.
Yeah, I've even sailed Wayfarers in your country as well. So.
Have you? Well, we have. It's complicated. The CL16s, I don't know if you heard the story. It's kind
Oh
of,
yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
not illegal, not an illegal. It's kind of, I don't know what happened there, the story, but the CL16 is very popular in Canada.
Yeah.
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 I guess they got the mold. I don't know the story. They got the mold and they, I don't know if it's approved or what. I don't know.
Because the whole shape is exactly the same, isn't
exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a CL16. I went up to Killbear.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, spent a week there at one of the Canadian Wayfarer Association events.
Nice. Yeah, there's a pretty active association up here as well. That's correct. It's nice to dinghy cruise on different grounds, right? So.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's around Europe now. There are wayfarers in probably nearly coming up to a dozen different countries now.
Is that right?
So
yeah.
And probably the big thing recently has been there's a Facebook group now, Wayfarer Dinghy Group.
Yes.
And that's expanded now. I think there's something like 5,000 members.
Wow.
And it's made it easy for people in other countries to sort of get information. And Ralph and I have exported boats to different people and throughout Europe.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Both Ralph and I think we're both pretty single-minded about our Wayfarer lives.
Yeah. And is there multiple builders of this? I think
there's only one now.
Is it Hartley? Hartley?
Hartley Boats.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's nice to see that there's still small boat builders in North America. There's not much. They've pretty much disappeared.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, and I think sailing in the UK is generally in decline, and motoring seems to be on the up, which is a bit of a shame.
Yes. Here, sailing is probably in a decline as well. Although there's a revival of dinghy cruising. I think you're right. The Facebook group allows a lot more of our people to connect together and get together and so on. So I think that's
yes. Oh yeah. So, I mean, passing information, quickly. I get pretty heavily involved in it with people that have just bought Wayfarers. It's good for business because they buy bits from them, but also just to pass on the knowledge that I've built up over the years.
Right.
It's far easier for me to tell them really the mistakes I made than for them to make their own.
Right. What about Ian Proctor? Have you met him? Or
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He was a very visionary in his designs. Really well. So.
Oh gosh, wasn't he? Yeah.
You have some insight to provide us about Ian?
I only met him very briefly once at a boat show years ago.
Okay.
But it had more to do with his son Roger, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger used to come to some of the Wayfarer events.
Right.
Which was nice.
Right. That must be nice to see that your boat design's kind of taken up so well. Definitely. Even what's the other one? The Wanderer. That's a 14 is still a pretty decent size class too.
Oh God, yeah, and it's if there's any complaint we get from people about Wayfarers, it's how heavy they are for manhandling up slipways.
Right.
But a lot of people then sort of downsize and go to Wanderers or start in Wanderers instead because they're a bit lighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think the Wanderer is quite the sea boat that the Wayfarer is, but it's smaller. So.
Yeah, it's smaller. It's a little more. Maybe a little more usable. You're right on launching and retrieving, definitely. But but it's still valid for dinghy cruising as well. I think.
Yeah. Margaret Dye used to cruise her Wanderer.
Nice. It's great that you're doing such great work for the community, the Wayfarer community. I mean, that's the boat you've grown up with and continue with, absolutely. So have you compared with other boats, and what made you stick to really it's rare to see somebody stick with one boat forever. So
I've never gone into I've done big boat sailing a couple of times. I suffer really badly from seasickness.
All right.
And on bigger boats, and very rarely now on the Wayfarer, I think, because I'm pretty much used to how they behave and feel.
Right.
And I just love the fact that you're so close and in touch with the water, and you can get places that big boats wouldn't even dream of going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, often get accused of being nutters, really, with some of the stuff we get up to.
Yeah. You can get a lot of spaces nobody else would. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And I think they're jealous of that too. They don't want to see that
they are.
They spend so much money on theirs and they can't get in some places you go. So
yeah, and I think there's a drift towards being more risk averse with sailing. And one of the famous gulfs in Scotland is called the Gulf of Corryvreckan, with some very strong tides. And I came through there some years ago with the spinnaker up, and there were some yachts about at the time, and they thought we were complete lunatics. Yeah, had a good speed. I think got nearly 16 knots out of it. So.
Wow!
So it was quite exciting. Yeah.
That must have been pretty exciting. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you wear a wetsuit? No, I guess a dry suit on when you're out there in the ocean?
Yeah, dry suit in the winter, because I sail winter as well. So yeah, dry suit winter. If you're out long, sort of week long, 10-day long cruising, dry suit becomes a bit more unpractical, I think, and uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I rely on just normal, breathable, waterproof gear.
Because that water is cold, no matter, even in the summer. You people are tough. That water is cold.
yeah, tough or daft. Yeah.
But then maybe you respect it more. You don't want to fall over, definitely. No.
Yeah. My first trip up to Scotland this year was 1st of May for a week, and that was cold. Nighttime temperatures were down close to freezing. So.
Yeah, we do the same exactly in May, and it's not even a dry suit; it's a survival suit that I wear. So I'm all warm. So.
Yeah. I think your water's probably a bit colder than ours, isn't it?
I don't know. It's pretty cold.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Yeah, at least we've got a Gulf Stream, haven't we? So.
Yes, I guess that is the difference. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but you still have to respect it, definitely. So.
Oh yes, yeah. That's if you're dinghy cruising, you have to sail conservatively, and it's very much a case of reefing early.
Yes.
And not taking the risk, because you don't really want to capsize.
No.
In that sort of condition. So.
Exactly. But it's nice to sail in group, though, as well, right? You do have that safety factor a little bit. You don't want to capsize, but it's nice to not be completely alone. So.
Yeah, because one of the events I ran quite some years ago. My briefing for the event included the now infamous phrase "capsize is not an option."
Right.
Because I was the only one who capsized.
Don't follow my example, right?
Yeah. Which they don't let me forget that. So. Yeah, capsizing has its place. When it's nice, clean, fresh water, and there's plenty of depth for your mast.
It's been wonderful talking to you, hearing about your stories and your knowledge. I wish there was a way I could get that knowledge out to the people out there. So probably the best way is to go to your training, I guess, and get and join your groups and so on, right? Yeah, and also through the Facebook group. There's an awful lot of information on there, and that's the way to find other people that have probably got a higher experience level than you have, and see if you can find someone nearby and meet up. Absolutely. Yeah, we found the same way. Facebook opens up a lot of connections, and you can find more people and so on. I don't know, we did it 20 years ago, all by ourselves, learning all in our corners, really. So. Yeah, it was a improvement by cock-ups, I think, really, wasn't it? That's where you put it. Yeah.
And eventually, the mistakes you make get smaller and more infrequent. But much better to tell other people about your cock-ups, and then hopefully they won't make the same mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to be able to meet so many different people that are in the same vein. So.
Yeah, they're all fabulous people. They've all got great stories, widely different backgrounds that with a common interest.
Exactly. That's what I find. It's fantastic for that. Well, thank you, Matt. It was wonderful talking to you.
And you, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. You can feel that Matt is pretty humble. It's actually hard to get him to give us all the info, but I think the best way is to go see him, connect with his group, go to his training. Thank you for my listeners, again, for bringing these guests to the podcast. That's really helpful. For our next podcast, I've been asked to look into more practical things. So the next podcast will be about preparation for a cruise or a trip. So it'll be very practical and interesting. In the meantime, join us on our Facebook group, Nano Cruising. Subscribe to our mailing list on nanocruising.com to not miss an episode. And last but not least, seize your own adventure.